Alright guys, welcome to another electronics video. In this video we are working on this nice Dell laptop which has been sent in to us by a customer, liquid damage soda type drink. And this is a Dell Inspiron, and the model number for this reads Dell Inspiron P113G001. So you can see that right there. Great. And the problem with this is that it does not turn on. So what I'll do is I will remove the motherboard from this laptop, and let's have a look at what's actually going on and why it's not turning on. It's a nice laptop, so let's press that. So that's not, yeah, nothing. So let's plug our power supply, have a look if there's any power draw or anything that's taking this current. Alright, we got the power in. Let's try. That button's rather sticky, so I'm wondering if the liquid spill was around here, so that I'll have to clean that out as well. So nothing, but we are drawing close to about, yeah, it's fluctuating between 30 millivolts. Okay, so that's not a good sign at all. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take the motherboard out of this laptop, and then we will restart this video. So let's do that. Okay, so there we are. Motherboard is out of the laptop, and now let's just inspect what's going on and why it's doing that. So I leave the fan on, but actually I might actually remove it just for testing purposes. There is a small hard drive that also goes here, small SSD, and this is what it looks like. It goes here. So I've removed that as well, just so if it's data sensitive, or if there's information that's in there that's sensitive to the customer, then I want to protect that as well. And the model number for the motherboard reads DF0W3$KA. So that's that there. So these motherboards are becoming smaller and smaller as they go. Wow. So we have a bit of sticky residue around here, if you can see that. You can see that around here. So let's give that a clean. And generally what I use to clean anything that's got sticky residue or water damage or something that's sugary, I mix a little bit of isopropyl and water together, and I just spray it on the board. Where was it? Just here. And I have a toothbrush here, and just give it air. Remember, gentle, not like, really rough, so it, yank components off the motherboard. So we have a little bit of sticky residue around this area here, and then what I tend to do is first I'll give it a good clean with that, and then I tend to just use a tissue, and I spray on that and also on the tissue as well, and I just use that to suck up or take up any of this residue, the sticky residue that's on the motherboard, and it sucks it up with that. And you can have a look. If you dry that up a little, you can see that that's a lot cleaner there now. Okay, we've got some on this USB port here, USB-C port, same thing, gentle. So remember, isopropyl with a little bit of water in it, and that should, to take anything sugary off the motherboard, I find that method for me works quite well. So if you have maybe about 5 mils of isopropyl, you'll add in maybe about a mil of water. Okay, so that's a bit better there. Let's work our way around. Let's have a look here. Okay, so you can see around this area here. There we go, there's a bit of sticky residue on that, so that's on my tweezer tip there. Let's get rid of that. Let me grab a Q-tip and we can clean that up. So that method works for me. If you have something else, mention it in the comment below what works for you. I used to use acetone if it's PS4, PS5 motherboards with liquid damage, or controllers with particular sticky residues. Then I tend to use acetone for those. But for laptops, I use isopropyl with a bit of a water mixed together. So that works well with me. That will do. Okay, let's work our way around. It's the Wi-Fi card. Okay, there. Alright, so this side looks nice and clean. And the reverse side, there's a fair bit under here, if you can see, just there, a bit there, under the processor I believe. Just give that a clean. Again, same method. Bit of a gentle rub with the brush around this area here. I'm hoping it's not shorted, but we can confirm that after cleaning. So that's that. Again there, just on that. Okay, there's a fair bit on this side here. I wonder what it was. Okay. Tiny components around this area right underneath the processor. If I had an ultrasonic cleaner, I would use that. But I don't have that. I'm not sure what the results are with ultrasonic cleaners for stuff like sticky, sugary drinks spills on motherboard. Not sure if that will actually take it all off. Okay. Alright, that's a lot better. Alright. And now let's work our way around. Bit up on this side. I believe this is the power, where the power input of this motherboard goes into. Yeah, the charging port actually goes here. Yeah, and on the reverse side is the MOSFETs. So we'll give that a bit of a clean as well. Alright, that looks nice and clean. Anywhere else? Okay, so I think we've got all the sticky residue off. Just a tad here. We have time for a new tissue as well. Alright, so that's looking nice and clean. Let's get rid of these. Okay, so that's good. Alright, so now I want to check if there's a short on this motherboard before I do anything else. So again, it's the same typical method that I always do. Resistance, diode, and continuity. Yeah, so let's do that. So we'll begin on this side here. So we have our power socket coming into here. Bring our multimeter. Let's begin with diode mode, and I'm hopeful you guys can see that. There we go. Again, so we're in diode mode here, and red probe on ground. Any of these metal or copper points on the board is ground, so you touch to that, that's grounded. Can you see that ground point? Perhaps not. Let's go up here, so same thing here. So this point here is ground, any one of these middle points is a ground. So if I have a short, it'll tell me that. So on diode mode, our first MOSFET's here, so let's check on the input side. Okay, we don't have a short there, 0.6 of a voltage drop. The other side, okay, that's good. On this side, alright, that's good, so there's no shorts there. And on this side here, 0.576, good. And this side here, nothing, again back to here. Alright, so that's good. We don't have a short on that circuit there. So what I do now is I want to check the resistance to ground, so I'll change it to resistance mode, the horseshoe, and again on this side here we have 5.5 kilo ohms, and on this side here we have a 19.16 kilo ohms. On this side, high ranging kilo ohms as well. So that's good, that tells me there's no short on that side there. However, we will check further on, because it's 19 volts there, I need to check further if there is a short actually present on that board, because I'm not confident enough to state that that's not a short there. Okay, so let me, again, red probe on ground, we're on continuity now, which is here, and let's probe again. So we go on here, so no short, this side no short, no short, and no short. Okay, so now what I do, get this multimeter out of the picture for now. I'll connect my charging cable up. Okay, I'll leave the fan disconnected. I just want to see if the board is actually taking any amps. So what I'll do is I'll change my power supply to say 5 volts and limit the current to about 1.5. Well, let's just go 1 amp. And I want to see if the board is actually taking any voltage. So with me plugging this in here on 5 volts, what do we get? So we're drawing close to about 700 milliamps, and so that tells me, because there's no battery plugged in, the CPU is not heating up. That means something is taking up that amps. So because there's nothing connected, what's taking up those amps, right? So you must be, alright, what's going on here? So the easiest and safest way that I found doing this, and if you don't have access to a thermal camera, then you can try this method here. What I do is I saturate the board, half of the board just on this side, with isopropyl. I bring in my power supply, connect it up, and I use my eyes, use my hands, okay, and I see where the short is. So I don't see anything here, so we've got 0.800 milliamps now, so we've gone up. Let's disconnect that quickly. Okay, so I can't see anything on that side that's heating up. Let's go on this side of the board. I'm hoping it's not the CPU, because that'll be bad for the customer. Let's connect that up. Something is taking those amps. Can you hear that? It's a whining sound. So I'm not seeing anything heat up on this side. Okay, I don't want to leave that on for too long. 800 milliamps is closer to 1 amp. Okay, so nothing on this side. Let's flip the board and let's start from this corner here. Let's spray on this side. Okay, and obviously if you had Okay, so I saw something here. I think there's something here. Let's try that. Let's plug that. Oh, yo. Okay. Touch, feel, look. Alright. So there's something here that's heating up. Alright, so let's zoom you in and see where the culprit is. So we don't even have to saturate the whole board. Okay, watch here. Watch this capacitor. Watch this capacitor here. Okay, so let me saturate it. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Let me line this up. Okay, watch that capacitor. There we go. See that? One more time. See that bubbling away? Again. There you go. See how it's bubbling away? Alright, so there's our problem right there. So we didn't even have to spray the rest of the board. We found it right here. So now what I will do, I will show you, zoom you in, bring the multimeter back into scope, go into diode mode. How can I do this? Alright, go to diode mode, or a diode scale, yeah, put that there, and we'll probe one side to ground. It's easier this way. Yeah. Okay, so we'll probe one side to ground. And remember, capacitor, one side of the capacitor is always grounded, right? So it shouldn't have ground on both sides. So we're on diode mode. Let's probe on one side. This side here is ground. Okay, so that's good. And now this side, we shouldn't get anything. So we have a direct short there. Okay, so hence why those MOSFETs protect those circuits there, so it doesn't burn the board out. So we have a short on this capacitor right here. And now I will use, I want to remove that one capacitor out of the board. And what we can do is, I wonder if I can just use this. I do have a replacement one, but because there's two online, let's not do that. Let's do it properly, hey? So let's bring my soldering station. Some fresh solder and a bit of flux. And again, the flux that I'm using is Amtech Tacky Paste halogen free type NC-559-ASM 10mm syringe. This has been working for me for about a year now, and I've only used that much, and I solder almost every single day. So let's apply a bit of flux into that. Bring our solder. Bring our soldering iron, clean tip, and just apply. I want to take one of them out first before I do anything. Okay, and then let's take that out like that. So turn it to its side, and now bring the multimeter back. Check for the short again. So if it was that capacitor, or was it the one next to it? So let's check. So it's ground, obviously. And on this side, there we go. Short's gone. Alright. So again, here we go. Short's gone. That's obviously ground. And so that capacitor is what was shorted because of the liquid that had spilt on it previously. So, and I will just remove that. and I may not replace that. So there we go. Alright, because there's one in line there, and I believe that's for, yeah, I don't think we need to replace that. Oh, who knows. Let's clean that up. Okay, bring this. Alright, so now let's plug this up and see if our short's gone. There we go. We're drawing very minimal. Now light blinks here. So there we go, short's all gone. Great, so let me reassemble this in the motherboard and let's see how we go from there. Into the laptop, sorry. Alright guys, so we've got the motherboard back into the laptop now. So let's do some testing. So I've got the fan connected up, peripheral board is connected, keyboard, mouse track, speaker, and all of the other connections are made except for the hard drive here, which I don't need for this testing. So let's connect our charging cable to the charging port, and we get a charge light indicator, which is a good sign. Let's open the laptop up. I've removed the hard drive because I don't need it for this testing method. And there we go, we've got a Dell logo going on there, and it's got an alert AC power adapter, which is acceptable because it's on my power supply. Let's click continue, and let's wait for it to boot up. And there we go, we've got a Dell logo, and obviously hard drive not installed. And there we go guys, so it's back to life. Just a recap of what we did. We had this coming in through a customer and is described as a liquid spilled on the motherboard, and we found that the liquid is actually has left some residue of sugar behind on the motherboard, and we cleaned that out with isopropyl mixed with water. It's easily done with that, so it cleans the motherboard out quite thoroughly. Then we found that our resistance to ground was 19 kilo ohms, which I wasn't really too happy about, so we had a short on the motherboard. We sprayed the motherboard with some isopropyl, injected some voltage. We found that a capacitor that's on the peripheral end of the motherboard had shorted to ground. We removed that capacitor out of the motherboard, and we found our short was gone. Reassembled it back into the laptop, and we've got it working now. So I do hope this video has helped somebody out there, and thank you for watching.